Good morning. Here we go. Here we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. And how do you do? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. And God loves you. Ooh, ooh. Good morning, y'all. That's right. This is Edwina B. Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. But guess what? My God said, rise, Edwina. I have something for you to do this day. I thank my God for allowing me to have this experience, this day, this moment, this half hour, whatever it takes to share my experience, strength, and hope for what He has done for me. And if you're listening, guess what? You've been blessed and you will bless somebody else. So for right now, I'm going to play my testimonial song. This is my anniversary week. I'll be celebrating 32 years in a couple more days, but I'm celebrating the whole week. I've really been celebrating all month, right? But I celebrate every day that God keeps me sober, helps me help another alcoholic, and to be of service to him and my fellow man. So with that, listen, I've been redeemed. 6:45, I'll be back with the AA reflection reading for today. I am part of the whole. But in the meantime, listen while I get myself together. All right, let me put these glasses on so I can see what I'm doing, right? I got my mama here with me. I am redeemed by J. Caldwell. Come on. Woo, all right. Okay. Y'all just wait a second. What is going on? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you something. Yes, I'm going to say thank you, Lord. I don't know what's going on, but guess what? I am going to do what I need to do. Here we go. Listen to the music, right? As I play my testimonial song for today.
Redeemed, church and bought with a price. Jesus has changed my whole life. If anybody asks you, guess who I am? You can tell them I'm redeemed. Listen, where there was hate, love now abides. Where there was confusion, peace now reigns. I'm walking with my Savior. I'm a child of the King, and it's all because I'm redeemed. I am redeemed. Born with a price. King Jesus has changed my whole life. And if anybody should ask you just who I am, go ahead and tell them. Tell them I am redeemed. tell his goodness to me. He purchased my redemption with his own precious blood, and from sin I've been set free.
Yes, I've been set free.
I sure am redeemed. And I'm glad today I can stand here and tell you that I was bought with a price. Because Jesus came down through 40 and 2 generations to give me a right to the tree of life. If anybody should come up to you today and ask you a question, if anybody should ask you just who I am, don't be ashamed to tell them. Tell them I am. I sure am redeemed. I'm going to say it one more time.
Woo! I'm going to say it one more time. I am redeemed. That was one of my dad's favorite songs, along with Peace Be Still. And I know why, because guess what? My dad was a sick person too. But he didn't find Alcoholics Anonymous, but he found his God. And that's all that matters. So, welcome to the Alcoholics Anonymous Daily Reflection reading for February the 21st. Yes, I am part of the whole. And I do not represent Alcoholics Anonymous, but on February the 23rd, I'll be celebrating 32 years of recovery from alcoholism, drug addiction, prostitution, homosexuality. That's right. I was kind of confused when I was a child, and it didn't manifest till I got into my early 20s, and then it really ramped up in my addiction. So listen, I'm transparent, but I've been redeemed through the 12-step spiritual program of Alcoholics Anonymous. Oh God, I just love him. I just love him. I just love him. And I'm in love with recovery. So, as a result of the spiritual principles adopted nearly 90 years ago by Alcoholics Anonymous, many people like myself and maybe you can say we've been redeemed. I heard a gentleman say, yeah, I retired from alcohol. And I'm going to stay retired, and I don't blame him, right? And so, you know that the daily reflections is something that when we go to open meetings, closed meetings, any kind of meetings that Alcoholics Anonymous or any 12-step program have, they have a daily reflections that helps to focus our attention on something specific for this day. It says, give us this day our daily bread. No matter what life deals us, we know who the dealer is. And as Donald Lawrence so eloquently says, we are not a natural being having a spiritual experience. No, we are a spiritual being encased in walking this natural experience, right? Called earth here, here on earth, right? I have had my knee bowing experience, and I cried out, help me, and I haven't looked back. So let's get to the reading today, why I am a part of the whole. All right. So put on your ears so that you can hear, but I want you to listen with your spirit. So let's take a drink. Here's to today. I got coffee. What do you got? Ooh, Woo! Are you ready? All right, so close your eyes. Close your eyes. I'm telling you, when you close your eyes and you meditate on the words without looking at the messenger, you'll get something. All right, so be obedient. Close your eyes. All right, so for the daily reflection for February the 21st, right, states that I am part of the whole. At once, I became a part, if only a tiny part, of a cosmos. As Bill sees it, page 225. When I first came to AA, I decided that they were very nice people, perhaps a little naive, a little too friendly, but basically decent, earnest people with whom I had nothing in common. I saw them at meetings. After all, that was where they existed. I shook hands with them, and when I went out the door, I forgot about them. Then one day, my higher power, whom I did not then believe in, arranged to create a community project outside of AA, but one which happened to involve many AA members. We worked together. I got to know them as people. I came to admire them, even to like them, and in spite of myself, to enjoy them. Their practice of the program in their daily lives, not just in talk at meetings, attracted me, and I wanted what they had. Suddenly, the they became we. I have not had a drink since. All right, open your eyes. Did you hear that? Huh? Did you hear that with your ears? But did you listen with your spirit? Now I want you to hear, listen, and see. All right, let's read it together. Okay. February the 21st, AA Daily Reflections. I'm part of the whole. At once, I became a part, if only a tiny part, of a cosmos. Cosmos, as Bill sees it, page 225. When I first came to AA, I decided that they were very nice people, perhaps a little naive, a little too friendly, but basically decent, earnest people with whom I had nothing in common. I saw them at meetings. After all, that was where they existed. I shook hands with them, and when I went out the door, I forgot about them. Then one day, my higher power, whom I did not then believe in, arranged to create a community project outside of AA, but one which happened to involve many AA members. We worked together. I got to know them as people. I came to admire them, even to like them, and in spite of myself, to enjoy them. Their practice of the program in their daily lives, not just in talk at meetings, attracted me, and I wanted what they had. Suddenly, the they became we. I have not had a drink since. Powerful, powerful, powerful. And so let's you know what I do. I listen. I hone in on every word, every sentence, every paragraph, every narrative, because I want to get the full implication of what the author is trying to convey, but from a spiritual angle. Okay, a spiritual angle. There's a difference, all right? And so when I hone in on I am part of the whole. Okay. So what do you mean by that, Edwina? Well, y'all know what I mean. You have a cake, right? And the cake is whole, and you take a slice, right? You are eating part of that whole. You have a piece of pie, right? And if you put that pie, your part, back into that pie, it becomes a part of the whole, right? You are part of a family, right? As a whole, you are a family, but you are one person in that family as a whole. So you get my drift, right? I'm part of the whole. And let's go the opposite way. Do you know what it feels like not to be a part of? Do you remember what it felt like when you were not included? Do you remember what it felt like when somebody said, "You're not one of us? You're not a part of us? You know, you're different. You're this, you're that. You can't be with us." Do you remember those feelings? Mm-hmm. But through Alcoholics Anonymous and this spiritual program, we have learned that we are a part of the whole. The first tradition says our common welfare should come first. My personal recovery depends on AA unity. So that means AA stays whole and I'm just a part of the whole. So let's get into the reading line by line, okay? So the first thing it says here, it says, At once, I became a part, if only a tiny part of a cosmos, right? And when I think about that word, at once I became a part, if only a tiny part. You know how, let's go back into our history where we were in a new neighborhood and we went out to play and we stood along the wall or the fence while everybody was having fun. And then somebody came up and said, "You want to play with us?" And we was like, "Yes, yes, yes." Or we like, "Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah," right? Immediately you became a part of. Immediately, right? And so you get the idea and the gist of being a part of it, just a tiny part, right? So let's go on because this is a lot to digest this morning. We're going to take our time. Listen. Then so go to page 225 as Bill sees it. I have his book and I plan on reading it again in its entirety instead of going, piece by piece, because I want to get the full implication of one of our co-founders' perspective in terms of helping one alcoholic stay sober as well as himself staying sober one day at a time. So this recovering person writes from his perspective. When I first came to AA, I decided that they were very nice people. Let's stop. Listen, I'm going to stop there. When I first came to AA, I decided, I decided that they were very nice people, huh? When I first came, see, there's that word about coming, huh? Came. You had to go. You had to do an action. You had to participate. So you came to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Yes. And so, like you, when I went in, I saw all these people who appeared to be very nice people, right? So I decided by the way they looked, they seemed to be very nice people, unlike the people I used to be with and around in a drug house or a speakeasy or even a bar, right? What a contrast, okay? So let's continue. So you decided, when I first came to AA, I decided that they were very nice people. Then he goes on to say, perhaps a little naive, a little too friendly. A little naive and a little too friendly. So let's go with a little naive, right? So when we go into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting and we see these variations of people, white, black, tall, short, gay, straight, what, girl, boy, okay, young, old. And so, and we're looking around and we're looking at their demeanor, at least I was, and I'm saying, why am I here? I don't know these people, but they say, whatever, okay? And then when they start to share their experience, strength, and hope, I would say, oh man, they ain't done nothing. Now, listen, they ain't do what I do. Oh my God, they are so naive. Oh, if they only knew, right? And at the same time, they were so friendly with a smile greeting me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's your name? I'm like, my name is Lena. Yeah. And oh, well, meet John, meet Mary. Welcome to our meeting. I was like, okay, yes, huh? The only time I got welcome like that is when I had a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of drugs, right? Or alcohol. People were very, very nice to you, right? Until it all went away, right? And so the thing about Alcoholics Anonymous, when it says a little too friendly, right? And so when we come to Alcoholics Anonymous, we number one, we don't know where we are. I mean, we heard about AA, but we really don't know nothing about it. But we were forced to go. It was suggested that we go. We were told to go. And in essence, we now know that God did for us what we could not do for ourselves through situations, through people, right? Through circumstances. We were chosen, forced to come to Alcoholics Anonymous. And when we get there, like you say, we see other people. Wow, they had a drinking problem too. Oh, he doesn't. He looked too old to drink. She's too Too young to drink. Well, man, why am I here? Okay. And so when we come to Alcoholics Anonymous, we see that, they are basically decent, earnest people. And here's the hit: with whom I had nothing in common. Wow, do you see how close minded we are? When we first come in, we are closed minded because the first thing we say is, why am I here? I don't know these people. I have nothing in common with these people, right? I would never go out with her. I would never go out with him. Listen, we don't have nothing in common. I tell you. And the predecessor will just smile and shake their head, because they probably thought the same thing, right? Until they continue to come back and learn more about these spiritual principles. So let's go on. Okay. It says here, right? I saw them at meetings. After all, that was where they existed, right? And so when I was when it was suggested to me that I go to AA meetings, right? Because there's something about being told what to do. And as children, as adolescents, as teens, even as adults, we don't like to be told what to do, right? But we sure like telling people what to do. Now, isn't that ego tripping, right? Right? So it says here, when it was suggested that I go to meetings, I saw these people, those people, right? Okay. All right. Again, closed-minded, not knowing, not seeing the bigger picture, right? But walking into a room full of people and like, I don't know these people, like I ain't got nothing in common with them. But guess what? We're all in the same room surrounded by the same four walls. So what do you think? So it says here, I saw them at meetings. After all, that's where they existed. I shook hands with them, and when I went out the door, I forgot about them. See, while we're in a meeting, right? While we are in a meeting, right? When we go to a meeting, we are embraced, and people extend their hands, and I begin to do the same thing, because if I had 2 days sober, somebody came in with who was still drunk, or had 1 day sober, and I was able to reach out to him and say, hi, come on, sit over here next to me. I'm new too. What's your name, right? I can relate to him and not these other people, right? All right. And so, but as soon as the meeting was over, it was like, pew, pew, ah. All right, I went to my meeting. I did what it was suggested that I do. I went to the meeting and I forgot about him, like most people, right? Listen, I ain't trying to get in and engage with these people for real, for real. So listen what he says. He says, right? Then one day, now this is a powerful line. Then one day, my higher power, whom I did not then believe in. Ooh, let's stop there. Oh, when people come into Alcoholics Anonymous, many of us don't know about a God, don't want to believe in a God, believe that God turned his back on us, believe that God could never forgive us. There was no loving and caring God. Listen, but everything that went on, that's going on, anything that happened to me, there can't be no God. But listen to what he says. He says, then one day, my higher power, and that's the second step, right? Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, and sanity only means soundness of mind. But he says, then one day, my higher power, whom I did not then believe in, arranged to create a community project outside of AA. So listen. The 12th step says having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics who still suffer and to practice these principles in all our affairs, not just in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's where we learn them. That's where we practice them. That's where we embrace, analyze, right? But the real test comes when we leave that AA meeting and we go into the world of life on life terms, right? So when we take these spiritual principles with us in all our affairs, there is a possibility that we will be an attraction to others, as with this gentleman, right? So let's go on to see what he says, right? And so he says, right, a community project outside of AA, but one which happened to involve many AA members. Wow. So, unbeknownst to him, he was getting involved in a community project, right? We don't know what, where, when, how, but when he got there, he said, "Oh, that's the guy from the meeting. Oh, I never. Oh, wow." Change in perspective, right? And so we get to see people outside of the rooms practicing these principles in all their affairs, and also being a part of society. And there you are, there I am, right? And so one of the things I love to share about, I remember, in Alcoholics Anonymous, we have different events, right? We have dancings. We go bowling. We play softball, right? We go on trips, right? And this is outside of AA, right? And so and the common denominator is we are hanging together, right? We are dealing with one another. We are learning these 12 spiritual principles, and therefore we have something in common. We all want to stay sober, but we also want to have fun in recovery. We shared yesterday the gift of laughter, right? And so, when people started laughing and cracking up and we wasn't drunk, oh my God, what a revelation, right? And so I know that there were times when I participated in all these events with people. I was like, wow, we can have fun in recovery. All right. And then it goes on to say, we worked together. I got to know them as people. Wow. As people, we work together on a common cause, on a common theme, on a common project. We worked together. So when you work together, that's a part of a whole, and you are part of working as a whole together. Oh my God, certain things just make sense when you get sober, right? And so then he says, I got to know them as people. Not only did I get to know them as people, they got to know me as a person. Oh my God. And when I say we are many and varied, yes, but there is one thing we all had in common. We all had a desire to stop drinking because we reached our knee bowing experience because we couldn't stop no matter what we did, no matter what we said, no matter what our intentions was. We could not stop. We could not stop. Here come my co-host. Here go my co-host again. Oh my God. You back again? Say hi. And so when we realize that we do not when we realize that we all have one thing in common, right? We see each other as another human being, right? And that's a beautiful thing. All right, so let's go on. Then he says, I came to admire them, even to like them in spite of myself, to enjoy them. And so when you get around people in recovery, you begin to see how much you have in common and that you really don't have a lot of differences. There were different paths that got all of us to the same program of spirituality, transformation and spirituality of additional and heightened wisdom, right? The whole principle program that is spiritual in nature, right? And so now, by you going to meetings and then you leaving there, going to get some coffee, and then you hooking up with somebody just to hang out, a walk through the park, going bowling, going dancing, even modeling, right? Skiing and the whole 9 yards. So we get to admire them. And then we get to enjoy them, because we know that we could enjoy nothing without drinking. But now we are enjoying each other doing things without drinking. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so let's go on. You okay, Zan? Can Grandma have a kiss? Kiss. Mwah. All right. And so even enjoy them. And then he says, in spite of myself, to enjoy them. Their practice of the program in their daily lives. Let me stop there. Did you get the key word? Did you get the key word? Their daily practice of the program. Did you hear that key word? Practice. 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 Huh? Did you hear that key word? Their daily practice of the program that's spiritual in nature. See, we strive for perfection, but we make progress along the way. And so it is about progress, not perfection. By us practicing these spiritual principles in all our affairs, guess what? And we apply them to this earthly journey called life here on earth. Oh my God, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful point. So let's go continue by them practicing these principles in their daily lives. What happened, right? Not just in talk at meetings, right? Not just at talk at meetings. And so you ever hear the saying, you can talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk. I hear what you say. I listen to what you say. But guess what? I listen to your behaviors, not in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, but outside the room. What is your walk like? Am I applying these spiritual principles? When people see me, do they see a person that's different, or am I just gabbing, right? Right? And so when we realize she's sleeping. When we realize, that we you want something to drink? Okay. All right. So can you wait a minute for a few minutes? Okay, so he says it attracted him and he wanted what they had. Did you hear that? And so you have people who's been in recovery. Listen, my sponsor had 56 years before she died. Her sponsor had 90 years before she died, right? My grand sponsor had 56 years. My sponsor now, she has I have 32. She has 37 years. And so as a result of watching these people and listening to them, not just in meetings, but watching how they live outside of the meetings, attracted me. Yes. And then guess what? People began to be attracted to the new me. And come up to me and say, there's something different about you. What's going on with you, right? And so because I saw what they were doing, I heard what they said, I listened, I watched them. I wanted what they had. They were sober. They were having fun in recovery, right? They were doing things. They were becoming productive members of society, and they were happy in spite of what they were going through. They had joy, right? In spite of the circumstances and situations of life, right? They had peace. Oh boy, did I want what they had, okay? And so, and the last things he says here, Suddenly, the they became we. Suddenly, right? One day you have that feeling like, wow, I am a part of the whole. That one person, Individual person, right? Is a contribution to the whole, right? When I go to Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, right, I play a part in showing that this program works, right? When I stop going to meetings, I think I am the stuff, and I begin ego tripping, and I begin sliding back, and I go back to drinking. But suddenly, right, I feel suddenly the they became we, and I have not had a drink since. I remember doing. I'm a closing. I remember doing a workshop in the mayor's office as the program director for the enterprise community, and these were people in the field of helping those with the disease of alcoholism, addiction, and all of that stuff, right? And so during the course of the my presentation, they would say, those people can't get help. Those people, they do this. They don't want help. Those people. And I just listened, and I just, okay, all right, Holy Spirit, let me know when to drop the bomb, but I'm listening. And then at the end of the presentation, I asked them, I said, what does those people look like? One person said, well, you can tell them a mile away, this, and that, this and that. I said, okay, all right. And when they change, oh, they still got the behavior. They ain't changed nothing. I said, okay, all right. Can I share something with you? I'm one of those people. I passed my picture around when I was on welfare, had weighed 90 pounds, had the sunken face in, and I passed it around. Yes, I'm one of those people. And to hear you all say what you have said throughout this workshop, maybe you are in the wrong field. Maybe you are in the wrong field. If you don't think those people can be helped, if you don't think those people can become productive members of society, maybe you need to change your perspective. And I hope this picture helps to change your perspective, right? And they came up to me and was like, wow. Oh my God. I just needed to change one person, right? And so when they say in our rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, all human beings are ill to some extent, and all human beings can benefit from the spiritual program of Alcoholics Anonymous. All right, it's time for me to hopefully go to my meeting. If not, I'll be tuning in on the phone. I have to wake up one more granddaughter over in here. I have my grandson here. And so I want you to, right, be a part of the whole by putting on your mask, getting vaccinated, right? Social distancing, getting vaccine, getting tested, getting your booster shot, right? Wearing the mask. We went to church yesterday, and me and my grandchildren, and guess what? My grandchildren had to put on a mask. Yes, they did. And I was happy for them to have them put on a mask, right? Because we want to save their lives and we want to save ours. So if nobody told you they love you today, God bless you. Him and I are going to sing the song. You want to sing the song? I love you. You love me. We are one big family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Say bye-bye. God bless you. Say bye-bye. Say I love you. Say I love you. Muck, muck. All right. You're supposed to do something to drink. Come on.
I'll take the phone.
You take my phone?